front.
Pre-season, all that was coming out of Marc Marquez's mouth was, I'm not ready to win, I'm not ready to fight for the podium.
Yeah. Is he kidding?
Yeah, who are you kidding? He is right in the game. Marquez, this could potentially be a dream debut on the Ducati. Tomorrow night, of course, he's trying to make it a hat-trick of wins for Gresini Racing after the beast won here in 2022. Digia's phenomenal surprise success here last November. Gigi Dall'Igna looks on. Hasn't quite started stroking the beard just yet. It's only round one. It's only the first sprint, isn't it? Yeah, that's always the giveaway sign that there's just a few nerve endings jangling for Gigi Dall'Igna. Martin then, still in control of the opening sprint of 2024. He peels through the final corner, winds up the power now to top gear on the Prima Pramac Ducati. What's his advantage over Binder going to be with 4 to go here? It's just over half a second. Binder in turn just under 3/10 clear of Bagnaia. Aleix Espargaro has been able to latch onto the back of Marc Marquez, so the Aprilia still well in contention for this podium. Bastianini looks like he's just struggling in the tail end of this sprint. He dropped nearly 9/10 of a second behind Aleix Espargaro on that lap 7.
Yeah, they're telling Bagnaia on his pit board the gap to the rider behind him, although they're not telling him who it is. I think he might be about to find out, because Marc Marquez must be so energised under that helmet on that 93 Gresini Ducati. This is a feeling Marc Marquez has been largely missing for the last 3 years. He will be desperate here to try and crown this Gresini debut with a sprint podium. Aleix Espargaro has not given up hope on this yet, and as you say, they have dropped Bastianini. We might have to be a little bit careful in these final 4 laps so he doesn't slip into the clutches of Alex Marquez and Pedro Acosta, who are both in the 52s.
12 months ago, Marc Marquez was on pole on the Honda in Portimao to kick off 2023, and he was on the Tissot sprint podium. We could not believe how it was going to unfold, though, throughout the course of last season. There is the team communication then to Bagnaia. They're telling him exactly what the scenario is. He's seen it. Gap 0.1 back to Marquez. And that's sort of holding station at the moment. Bagnaia looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Marquez not close enough to attack him and show him that front wheel, because if he has the jaw, he's wide. Marquez was wide, and that could be costly, because Aleix Espargaro is going to pick up all that rhythm. That was through turn 14, wasn't it? Yeah, Marquez desperately trying to defend and hold on to that 4th place. That might just well be sprint podium hopes gone here for Marquez. Just as he was sensing a chance to seize the opportunity to attack Bagnaia, he just made the mistake coming through those last of the fast rights, and he's dropped back now behind Aleix Espargaro.
Yeah, and he's not close enough either to attack Aleix Espargaro back again and use that straight line speed of that Ducati to regain that 4th place. So that's some relief for Bagnaia then, who's now got an advantage back to Aleix Espargaro of 7/10 of a second. It's brought Bastianini back onto the tail of Marc Marquez. Martin is just managing this out of the front, although Binder was quicker last time round, got back down to 4/10.
Let's see what happened to Marquez. Yeah, he just was committed, then just ran marginally offline, didn't he? Onto maybe a dirtier part of the circuit, and then he just lost all of his momentum going through that 3rd gear, 140 kilometres an hour, turn 14. Aleix Espargaro just said thank you very much. Didn't have to work for it, did he? Pecco Bagnaia, you could probably hear the few under his helmet when he perhaps realises that Marc Marquez has dropped back to 5th place. Now then, what has Bagnaia got left here late on to maybe reel in and attack Martin, who you have to say has been faultless once again at the front of this sprint? Got the whole shot. It was a close call, wasn't it, at the end of the 1st lap between himself, or the start of the 2nd lap between himself and Binder going into the 1st corner, but other than that, he's looked like he's had it relatively comfortably covered, hasn't he, here, Jorge Martin? 2.5 laps to go, and he still leads by just a fraction under half a second.
Yeah, that gap's been hovering around the sort of 4, 5, 10th mark for a lap and a half or so now, although we're in the part of the track where Binder often did pull time back earlier on in the sprint on Jorge Martin. As they come through the 3rd sector, it's around half a second still, so Martin is just managing that gap at the moment. Bagnaia is ever so slightly closing on Binder. You do wonder whether Marc Marquez, with that little warning he had through turn 13, might have decided, I think I'm quite happy to settle for 5th place in this sprint. He's lost touch now with Aleix Espargaro. If anything, Marc Marquez was going to have to play a defensive role in these final 2 laps to keep Bastianini at bay.
The warning signs are there, aren't they, Lewis? It's been a stellar start to 2024 and to this new chapter for Marc Marquez. Over Rami Kummet, 2 laps to go here in Qatar. Oscar over half a second clear of Binder. Martin Binder Bagnaia. This takes you back to Burram, doesn't it, when they had that epic shootout in the Grand Prix. Bagnaia, this is not a given. He's going to hold off and resist Aleix Espargaro here, isn't it? Aleix Espargaro, desperate for Aprilli's first ever podium here in Qatar.
Yeah, I was just about to draw our attention to that lap time. Aleix Espargaro just said a 1:52.4. Look how quickly he drew alongside Pecco Bagnaia, but that was the Bastianini move from earlier on. He couldn't get it started into turn 4. Perhaps a little bit impatience there from Aleix Espargaro, who's clearly quicker than Bagnaia, but turn 4 wasn't really a viable passing spot on the world champion.
Yeah, you guessed Bagnaia could probably sense that was coming and just gave him plenty of room, because he knew if he was coming in at that rapid rate of knots, he was going to run in wide, because Bagnaia would be thinking to himself, well, I'm going in on the limit, I'm going in at my maximum, so if anybody comes through here, they're going to overshoot and running wide. That's precisely what happened to Aleix Espargaro, so he's got to now try and regroup, try and rekindle his podium hopes here. Didn't lose an awful lot of time, did he, as he ran wide, but Bagnaia then back into third spot.
Yeah, an update on what's going on further back then. Marquez is still holding off Bastianini for 5th. The battle for 7th between Alex Marquez and Pedro Acosta looks like it's gone the way of the 73. He put in a 52.6 last time around to break clear of Acosta, but Acosta's comfortably ahead of Maverick Vinales, who's in a lonely 9th for the final sprint point. Jack Miller's now fallen 10 seconds off the lead in 10th. There's a battle of the Frenchman going on further back for 11th. Fabio Quartararo has just passed Zarco.
Aleix Espargaro fancies this. He's properly up for this, isn't he? Look at the grip he has coming out of turn 15, and he just eased on the inside of Bagnaia. Brilliant corner speed. Throughout this weekend, Aleix Espargaro has been untouchable in that 4th sector. This is where he has been the best rider so far this weekend, without any question. It was the 4th sector that put him second on the grid, and this time around his victim is Pecco Bagnaia. Tries to use some of that Ducati horsepower. He's not close enough. Aleix Espargaro capitalising on the strongest part of this Qatar circuit, finds his way through on Bagnaia. Now can he hold on? Can he take Aprilli's first sprint podium here?
Yeah, he's looking good for it now, because Bagnaia's best opportunity, I think, to make that move back on Aleix Espargaro was down that home straight into turn 1. We saw Marc Marquez blast past the Aprilia through there. Bagnaia unable to do so, and you could clearly see on the brakes he wasn't prepared to launch one up the inside of Aleix Espargaro. So Bagnaia might be thinking, let's play the long game. 7 points potentially, or 6 points off of a 4th, 7 for Aleix Espargaro in 3rd, and Pecco Bagnaia can live to fight another day tomorrow.
It's the corner speed on that RSGP Aprilia which is making Aleix Espargaro such a potent weapon here late on. He said now he thinks, in terms of aerodynamics, Aprilia is a class leader in MotoGP. He's made the bike with the extra downforce a little bit heavier to turn, but he says the bike's planted. It's rock solid in the high-speed corners, and that's where he's been so strong in this 4th sector. He's actually starting to reel in Binder here. He might even take 2nd place late on here. Looks like Binder's got nothing for Martin. We can see smoke pouring off Binder's rear tyre there as they came through turn 11. Binder trying to hold on for 2nd place. Martin surely has this one covered. What a start. Magic Super Saturday, isn't it, for Martin? Pole on what looks like being the first sprint win of 2024 for him.
Well, it might not be 2nd place, as you say, for Brad Binder, although that might well have been Aleix Espargaro's best hope there. If the attack since turn 16, he would have to be from a long way back, and he's decided better of it.
Through the final corner we go then. Jorge Martin was the TISO Sprint King in 2023, and he's the TISO Sprint King in Qatar in 2024. The perfect way for Martin to announce his championship challenge this season. Pole position and the sprint win on a